Hello everyone, and welcome to the Small Business Webinar Series by the Small Business Center. For those of you who are new to the Small Business Center and this is your first webinar, we do a webinar on a small business topic on a weekly basis every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For those of you who have attended our webinars before, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss grow your business with free online tools. I'm Rehan Abdelmukhni and I'm the director of the Small Business Center. So let's get started with today's webinar. We are going to talk about several free tools, including how to build a website, promote your business, sell your products and services, and manage your business and your business finances. Just a couple of expectations on today's webinar. We are just talking about introducing some of the free tools that are available. We are not going to go very deep into discussions of any of these tools. Understand that this is not a complete list. There are actually a lot of tools that are available out there. The ones we have selected today are the ones that are very popular, and they don't necessarily mean that they will do what you want to do with it. The reason we have selected the most popular tools is because that means they have been in development for quite a while, which means that they are more robust than the ones that are not been in development for a long time. And secondly, if they're popular, that usually means also that the tool is being developed continuously. So they're getting better at it, and the chances of them hanging around for a while is also highly likely than if the tool isn't popular. Now, just because it's popular, again, as I said before, it doesn't mean that it will do everything that you want to do. As a matter of fact, you need to understand that expectation that these tools will have their limitations. No matter how popular they are, no matter what company is backing and financing the development of those tools, they will all have their limitations. Generally speaking, those limitations will be either the amount of time, the number of times you can use them in a given period. So for example, you can only use them once a day or 5 times a week or 20 times a month or something like that. But more likely the limitations will be the number of users that can use it. So for example, there's only available to 3 people or 5 people in your company, or it will be available, or the limitation will be the capacity, the storage capacity that you can use it for. For example, you only get 10 megabytes or 10 gigabytes of space for whatever the tool is used for. So those are generally speaking the limitations, but there may be others. So let's get started with building a website. If you do not currently have a website or you're starting a new business, the service that is offered by Google, actually it's not service offered by Google, it's an initiative that is promoted by Google called Get Your Business Online. In most cases, the services themselves are provided by partners of Google, not by Google directly. And depending on which state or which country you are in, the services will be different, or at least slightly different from each other. Generally speaking, well, not generally speaking, all of those, irrespective of where you are, if the service is offered, the 2 things that will be available to you is number 1, the free website hosting for 12 months, and secondly, free domain name registration for the first 12 months. After that, you will have to pay for it. Depending on where you are, that will vary. I understand they are not too expensive. However, the last time I checked in Canada, it was about $29 a year. So that's not too bad. If you are interested in that service, depending again where you are, you may have to go to one of these websites to sign up. In the US, you have to go to gybo.com. GYBO stands for Get Your Business Online, and then select the state that you are in, and then sign up for the service. In Canada, it is gybo.ca. In the UK, it's gbbo.co.uk. GBBO stands for Get British Business Online. And in Australia, you have to go to gettingbusinessonline.com.au. if you are in a country other than these 4 countries I've mentioned, simply go to Google, type in "get your business online" or get your business online, and enter the name of the country and search for it. So for example, if you're in Singapore, you will search for "get your business online" in Singapore, and if that service is available, it will tell you. And I'm not sure which other country the service is available in. If you are not interested in using this free service that is initiated by Google, and you want to host it yourself and get your own domain name, what you would need also is either you would have to hand code your HTML and your website in HTML, or you can use what's called a content management system, or CMS. Content management system, there are quite a few available out there. Some are free, some you have to buy. The one that I highly recommend is WordPress. If you go to wordpress.org, you can download the CMS system from there. It's free. I'm not going to get into too much detail on wordpress.org, but we did a webinar a few weeks ago on how to build your website in an hour. If you are a member, which you have to be if you're on this webinar, go to our archive section and you can watch that webinar there. I think it's called Build Your Business Website in an Hour. You obviously would also need a domain name. There are, again, many companies out there where you can register the domain name from. I have listed 2 of them here, 1&1 and Namecheap.com. We have not used either one of them. I am not recommending their service. I have simply listed them here because, again, as I said, they are pretty popular. Many of our members do use them, but we don't know how good or not good they are. Similarly, you would need a hosting service. Again, there are many hosting providers out there. The 2 we have listed here, we again have not used them personally, but many of our members do use them and like them. But your experience may vary. As a matter of fact, with any of these services, if you do go and register your domain name here or in any other place, we would love to hear your feedback. Let us know what you think about them, and we can share that with the rest of our members as well. Now, once you're building your website, you probably would need some images. You would, if they're product, obviously if they're your product, you would want to take pictures of your product, but then there will be some images that may be just generic images that you may want to use, for example, for your header. There are quite a few places where you can get some free images. One of the places I'd suggest is istockphoto.com/HP free. Now, you make sure that you go to /HP free. This is something that's being promoted by HP or Hewlett Packard, and I believe with this URL you can get about 25 or 30 free images from iPhoto. If you want to buy more, or if you want to buy the ones that are not in here, then you obviously have to buy from them. Turbophoto.com free stock images is another website where you can download some of the images. I believe they have about 2,000 images that are available there. And then, of course, if you go to flickr.com/creativecommons, what you will see on the right hand side are the licenses that comes with each of the images that are on Flickr. Some of the artists, some of the photographers won't allow you to use their image for free, so make sure that you're not using them, or if you are using them, then you contact that photographer and figure out how much it is. Some of the photographers will let you use them for free for personal use, not for commercial use. So if this is your business, this is probably may fall under commercial use depending on what business you are in. So again, you want to make sure that that you're not using something that shouldn't be. But there are many images, however, on Flickr where the photographer will allow you to use them for free, irrespective of whether that usage is personal or business. And that's the one where is the safest one for you to look at and download and use it on your website. Now, once you have built your website, you obviously want to optimize it for search engines. On this webinar, we are of course not going to go into search engine optimization. We are doing a webinar on May 10th on the basics of search engine optimization if you're interested in that. But the first thing that you want to do when you have built your website is you want to make sure that search engines know about this new website. And the way you can tell them is you can go to their webmaster tools. Both Google and Bing provide that. It's a free service. If you go to google.com/webmasters or bing.com/toolbox/webmaster, what you do is you sign up and then you enter the information about your website. Generally speaking, that just means that you enter your URL of your website, and once you submit that information, then both Google and Bing now know that your website is available. They can go and they can index the information on your website and put that on their own search engines. Now, just by doing this, that does not mean that you will start ranking better than your competitors. Putting your information on Google or on Bing doesn't mean that will rank you better in search engine. It just means that the search engines are now aware of your website. They will go and index your website and index your content and will make it available on their search results, whether that be on the first position on the first page or the last position on the 100th page. That depends on a variety of other things. Right. If you are a local business, then you also want to make sure that you're promoting that for local search. So google.com/places or bing.com/business portal or listings.local.yahoo.com. Again, it's very similar to the webmaster tool where you go into these on all of these websites and you enter that information about your business, which would include your domain name or your URL, your business name, your address because you are a local business, your contact information, which would include your phone number and your email, and your hours of operation. Once you have done that, that will then show up. This is the beginning of where you are now optimizing a little bit more your website for search engines with Google and Bing, for example, as well as with Yahoo. It will show up on their maps as well, so Google Map or Microsoft Map. The one thing that is not listed here that you also may want to look at, if you have a Facebook business page, then you want to put it on Facebook Places as well, which will enter that information in Bing's map as well. And that's another way to optimize your website for local business. You also obviously want to promote them on social media. Again, like everything else, you're not going to get deep into this, but the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have claimed your business name on at least the major social networking sites. So that includes Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest. You may want to do it on other places as well, but those are the main ones that you want to claim your username. You probably also want to have a business profile, perhaps a business profile on LinkedIn as well, but on LinkedIn you cannot have a business username, you can only have a personal username, so that won't mean. So what does a username mean? That means that it's a name that allows you not only to log in, but also the name that comes in after the domain name of the social networking site. So for example, facebook.com/smallbusinesscenter is our Facebook URL. A small business center is the username or the domain name on Facebook. So facebook.com/smallbusinesscenter. On Twitter, it's twitter.com/sbcenter. So one thing that you want to do is you want to go to this website called knowem.com and you enter the username that you are interested in and click submit, and it will go through all of these social networking sites. I believe Noam searched through about 400 social networking sites and come back with the information whether that username is available or not available. If it is available, then obviously you would want to claim it. If it's not available, then you want to make sure that you come up with a username slightly different than your business name, that will make it available. Couple of caveats here. First of all, you do want to make sure that your business name across all social networking sites is the same if possible, so that you can have a consistent name throughout all of these sites. However, sometimes that is not possible. In particular, for example, Twitter and Pinterest will only allow you to have a username that is only 15 characters long. That's 15 characters long. In our case, for example, a small business center is longer than 15 characters. So on Pinterest and on Twitter, our username is SB Center, as in small business, so SB Center. But on other sites like Facebook, it is a small business center. Now, of course, we could have gone with SB Center throughout all of the social networking sites, but we want to optimize it for search engines. We want to make sure that a small business, where possible, is also available in the URL itself, and where it's not possible, then we have shortened it. So there is a bit of a disconnect where it is slightly different, but both cases. But if your business name is less than 15 characters, you want to make sure that it is available. It is the same across all of the social networking sites. For those of you who attended our Facebook timeline webinar beginning of March, you may have remember, we mentioned the Facebook offers on that webinar. Facebook offer is, but we also told you that it wasn't at that time available, just announced. Middle of April, the Facebook announced availability only in beta. It is not yet available throughout. It's not available for everybody. It's available in limited beta version right now. But when it is available, we will do a webinar on it. But let me actually explain what Facebook offer is. It is actually pretty interesting. From what I understand, it will be free, at least for a while, to small businesses and to local businesses. So if you're a local small business, Facebook offers will be available for you for free. So it is very similar to any other coupon, right? You create a coupon, you add a picture, you say what the coupon's about, and then you can also say what the limitations of the coupons are going to be. So for example, you can say this coupon is available only to the first 1,000 people, and after the 1,000th person have claimed it, the coupon will disappear. Or you can say the coupon's only available for a limited time, so you can say it's only available until 30th of May. After that, it's not available, and on the 31st of May, the coupon will disappear. But here's what will happen. When somebody claims a coupon, it will be displayed very prominently in their timeline, so all of their friends can also see that they have claimed this coupon, which may encourage them to say, okay, they want to go and get a coupon as well. So this could be a very, very powerful way to advertise coupons on Facebook. I suspect that Facebook is doing this in competition to Groupon, and I would like to see how it goes. But from my first research, I am seeing this to be quite a few powerful tool, especially for the time that it's going to be free. So when it becomes available for general release, we will do a webinar on that and get you more information on that. Social marketing management. Now, once you are in social networking, marketing or social networking, you will need some sort of a management tool. The two we have listed here, again, there are quite a few of them. The two we have listed here are Hootsuite and TweetDeck. Both of them are good. Both of them have their strengths and weaknesses. You just have to figure out which one you like better. Initially, what they say is you can do, and you can do your status updates. So let's say you are on Facebook and Twitter, and you can do a status update through one of these tools, and they will show up on both of them at the same time. However, Facebook in particular doesn't like it when you do a status update using an automated system. So I highly recommend that you don't use one of these tools to do a status update on Facebook, so do it yourself. However, you can still use the tools for other things. So for example, if you are looking at trends in your industry, these tools will allow you to have that all in one place, so you don't have to constantly pay attention to your Twitter. You can do it a couple of times a day or once a day, however you feel like it, and figure out what the trends were, and you can respond to that. You can also use these tools to also follow tweets from people you're following and people who are following you, so that you can see what they are saying, and if they're saying something that you need to reply to and respond to, you can again use these tools to manage that. Now, to promote and sell, the first thing that I will recommend are the classifieds. Many people ignore the classifieds when they're selling, especially if you're a local business or if you're selling online. We are all familiar, for example, with Craigslist, but we don't necessarily always use it for business. And it could be an interesting tool to use for business, depending on what you're selling. If it is something that is that audience will be interested in, then I highly recommend that you try Craigslist. At least try it out, see what happens. It is free. It's not going to cost you any money. It will cost you obviously some time, but not any money. So some of the classified that I'll recommend are, of course, Craigslist, Backpage.com, Gumtree.com, and of course the Facebook's marketplace. They could be very interesting, especially the Facebook marketplace could be very interesting. If you are in the US, I will highly recommend that you take a look at eBay Classifieds. It's also free. And if you're in Canada, take a look at Kijiji.ca. Besides that, if you're in a different country, or there might be a classified web-based classified website that is local to your region, or to even down to your city, which is hyper local. So you may want to look at those and see if they are any good. If you're promoting through email, take a look at MailChimp.com. MailChimp provide for up to 2,000 email addresses, and sending out up to 12,000 emails per month is free. So if you're building, if you have a customer list and you're sending them an email on a weekly or a monthly basis, then you may want to look at MailChimp. As I said, up to 2,000 email addresses and up to 12,000 emails sent out a month is free. If you're doing any sort of survey or research, try surveymonkey.com. Again, it's free. You can send out surveys to your customers or potential customers and ask them, do some research-based questions about your business. Once you have the website up and running and you have started doing promotion, you obviously want to make sure that the promotions that you're doing, the marketing you're doing, is paying off. I will recommend that you have a Google Analytics installed on your website. We are doing a Google Analytics workshop in a couple of weeks. I believe it's coming up in June. You may want to make sure that you have Google Analytics installed on your website so that you can grab that data, and every time you're grabbing the data, it is telling you whether it is working or not working. Anything that you're doing, you want to make sure that you're not spinning your wheels, you're not wasting your money, you're not wasting your time, and everything that you're doing is paying off. If you're doing anything on social media, you also may want to look at crowdbooster.com. However, Google Analytics recently released, a couple of weeks ago, they released a social media component to that as well. It's fairly new. I'm still trying to get my head around it, but Google Analytics may be sufficient for you. If not, take a look at Crowd Booster as well, specifically for social media marketing. Now, if you're hiring people, I'll come back to the classified, especially if you're hiring not high-skilled people, low-skilled to medium-skilled people. If you're looking for a receptionist type thing, or somebody to do something on a temporary basis or a part-time help, again, go back to these classifieds that I mentioned earlier, Craigslist and Marketplace and such, and see if you can find some employees there, because this is going to be free for you. However, if you're hiring somebody for some specialized skills, so for example, if you want to have your logo done, for example, Fiverr might be a good place. However, keep in mind, I have had mixed, we have never used it ourselves, but we have had mixed feedback from our members. Some members like it, some members hate it. keep in mind, the old saying, you get what you pay for. So for $5, you're going to get $5 worth of product back. If you're starting a business, this might be a good way to start off with. Get somebody to do a logo for you very quickly for fairly inexpensively, and then as the business is established and you have proven the concept, then perhaps you want to get a better logo done. If you're looking for logo or website design or other design needs, 99designs.com is a good place. It's actually a great place. What happens is this: in 99 Designs, you go in and you upload your requirements as to what you're looking for, and these designers will compete against each other in terms of that they can design it for you. They will actually even put a mock-up of what they think they would want to do on 99 Designs, and then you can go through those mock-ups and look at one of them and say, okay, this is the one you want. Usually what happens is that the mock-up would be good enough for about 80-90% of what you want, and then you contact the designer, figure out what the contract is going to be, how much they're going to charge, and then tell them, look, I'm happy generally speaking with the design, but these are the changes that I want you to make to it, and then you just pay them for whatever you had agreed with them. If you're looking for other things, and you can do design and website design and logo design at elance.com as well, but you can also find accountants and consultants and programmers and pretty much every type of thing, and a freelance professional. And by the way, Elance is not the only website out there. There are there's a freelance.com. There's a lot of these type of sites out there where you can upload your requirements, and then these professionals will compete against each other to do whatever it is that you want them to do. Now, one thing I would also suggest is internships. If you have a local college or university, you may want to approach them and see if you can get an intern. So if you are again looking for a website design or a logo design, and your college or university has an arts program or a design program, there will be students who are looking for some commercial experience, some business experience, some real-world experience, and you can approach those colleges and universities or even professors in a particular course and say, hey, look, if one of your students is willing to do this for us, would you be willing to give them credit, for example, class credit or college credits for that? And that's a good way to do that. I haven't been able to find any particular sites for interns, but if you go to Forbes magazine, they do have a good article on the reasons why you should hire interns, as well as reasons why you shouldn't. So internship is a viable way to get some quick help fairly inexpensively. If you're looking for some consultant advice, some of the places that I can advise, if you're in the UK, businesslink.gov.uk is a good place to start. However, through the budget cuts, there aren't that many consultants available now in the UK through Business Link. They used to have a Business Link pretty much in every county, but now they have to redefine the business model because of the budget cuts. So this may or may not still be applicable, but the website is still up there and there's a lot of good information in there. In the US, you would want to go to the Association of Small Business Development Centers, or asbdc-us.org. Small business development centers are available throughout the US, pretty much in every area. They are usually associated with either a community college or a university, and they are a great help. So try them out. Usually they are free. Some of their services are charged services, so seminars, for example, but they're about $25-30. They're not that expensive, but try them out, see if you can get that information from them. In the US, you may also want to take a look at score.org. Score is the consultants at Scores are retired executives. So these are retired executives who have worked for years at a major company and now want to give back their skill sets to a small business. Even if you're not in the US, you may want to go to their website, because they have a lot of great information on their website that you can download and may be applicable to you even if you're not in the US. In Canada, in British Columbia, there's an organization called smallbusinessbc.ca, which is again very similar to SBDC or Score or Business Link, and they have lots of good information that you can do. If you're in a different province than BC in Canada, you would probably have similar you actually do have a similar organization. You just have to Google for it and find out what that organization is. If you have an economic development agency in your area, irrespective of which country you are in, they probably will offer you similar service, so you may want to check them out as well. If you're looking for specialized services, there are free consultancy available for that as well. So for example, a small business technology development center.org will provide you information with technology related information. So if you are either a technology company or if you're a company that is looking to implement some technology in your business, then SBTDC.org is a good place to start. Association of Women-Owned Business Consultants is a good place to go as well. This is most of the consultants, I understand, are women, so if you feel more comfortable dealing with that, that might be a way to go. If you are looking for international trade, you may want to look at iexportimport.com in the US and UK Trade and Investment or ukti.gov.uk in the UK. Even if you are not in the UK and you want to trade with the UK, ukti.gov.uk is a good place to start for that. Shifting gears a little bit and moving into management. To manage your business, one of the things you would need is communication. Now, Skype is a great tool. I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with Skype. I use Skype all the time to communicate with our members, to communicate with our partners, especially those that are not in the region. It saves me a lot of money on long distance cost. If the partner or a member is in Canada or in the US, then I use Google Voice, google.com/voice. I can call any Canadian or the US numbers from Google Voice for free. Again, it saved me a lot of time on long distance calls, and the great difference between Google Voice and Skype is, of course, with the Skype you have to do, if you want to do it for free, you have to do from your computer to the other person's computer. But with Google Voice, I can do it from my computer to the other person's phone number. I can dial another phone number directly, and for dialing a number in Canada and US, it's free. Now, the difference between the two also is that with the Skype, you can actually have multiple people that can talk to each other, but with Google Voice, you cannot. So that's a problem with that. Came across a new one called WalkSox. We haven't used it yet. Looks interesting. If any of you have any feedback on that, would love to hear that. And of course, if any other services you have a feedback on, please let us know. If you are looking for that capacity where you are communicating with more than one person, then other than Skype, I will also recommend Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts, you can have up to 10 people on Google Hangout. It has video. You can also share your desktop. You can share files with that. If there's more than 10 people, you may want to look at Meeting Burner. Meeting Burner is the one I'm using right now. For free, you can use up to 15 people on it. And again, you can share information and you can have communication with each other as well. With any meeting, you can also have free for up to 200 people. However, this is advertisement supported, so you will see an advertisement on the right hand side of the meeting, which can be somewhat distracting and annoying. So it is 200 members can be free in that, and it does have a lot of good features in there, but that advertisement could be annoying. Of course, if you don't want advertisement, you can pay $70 for 200 people. Okay. The last thing I would say, I believe it's the last thing in communication, is Cam Studio and TechSmith-Jing. Those two will allow you to record your screenshot. So if you want to upload a video on YouTube, for example, and you want to demo something on your browser or anything else on your screen, for example, PowerPoint, like I'm doing right now, you can use either camstudio.org. Cam Studio is free, although it could be a bit challenging to set it up. The other one is Jing from TechSmith. They also make Camtasia. If you're familiar with Camtasia, it's the same company that makes Jing. Jing does not have as much as many features as Camtasia does, but it could be a good start. Collaborating in terms of other than the ones that I've discussed just a minute ago with Google Hangout and AnyMeeting and Meeting Burner, you also have a couple of other places you can do collaboration with any of those tools in conjunction with any of those tools. So if you're doing mind mapping with somebody somewhere else, there are quite a few tools available for mind mapping. And if you go to the freenuts.com top-10-free-online-mind-mapping-tools, there are 10 free mind mapping tools out there they have reviewed that you may want to take a look at and figure out which one is good for you. TungleMe is a good service if you're trying to get together a bunch of people and you can't figure out what everybody's schedule is like. So for example, if there are 4 or 5 of you who needs to meet up over the next couple of weeks or a month or so, and everybody is having a conflict with the scheduling, they can go on TungleMe and they can tell and they can upload what time, day, hours they are available, and everybody can go and do that, and TungleMe will then show it automatically when everybody is available at a particular given time, and then you can schedule a meeting for everybody without trying to go back and forth all the time with each other. With terms of productivity, however, there are quite a few tools available. Google Docs, the one that I will recommend first, they have, and this is available for free, so they have document, which is like Word, they have a spreadsheet, they have presentation, and then of course there's Google Mail and Google Calendar. I will highly recommend using them. They are pretty good. They're all web-based. They come with storage, although the storage has limitation in terms of how much you can store, unless, and if you go above that, then you will have to pay for it. Similar to Google Docs, there's also Zoho.com and Microsoft's Office 365 that you can use. I don't believe they provide a free service, but they do. Their service is pretty low cost. I believe they start at $5 or $6 a month per user, and of course, if you have too many users, then it will get expensive. But you may want to take a look at both of them besides Google Docs as well, which is the one that I personally like a lot. In terms of productivity, a couple of other tools. First one is Wunderlist. So we all have a list of things to do, right? That we write down, we jot down. We are walking out and about. We are driving somewhere, and something will come to us, and we will write it down. We'll put it on our smartphones, or we are in a computer, or we are with a computer with a client with a laptop, and it will occur to us, and we will put it down. What Wunderlist does is that you can enter that information on a variety of different devices, and Wunderlist will sync each of these devices together. So for example, if you have put something in on your smartphone, and when you get back to your office, that information will now be available on your desktop, and vice versa. So if you have your list of things to do on your desktop and you are somewhere else, it will be available on your mobile device as well. The similar feature is Evernote. If you have not used Evernote, I highly recommend it. Evernote is similar in some ways, is that it makes everything that you put in Evernote available on a variety of different devices. But you can put a lot more information on Evernote that you can on Wunderlist. Wunderlist is only a text list of things to do. Evernote, you can attach documents. You can attach your Word document, you can attach your Excel sheets, you can attach images, you can put URLs, you can organize them in many ways that you want to make it easier for you to find it. And there's a search function as well, so you can find information quickly as well. Now, it is a very powerful tool. The first time I started using it, I actually did not like it. It took me a while to get my head around that and figure out what it's all about. But once I understood it, it took me probably about a month and a half to figure this out. Obviously, I wasn't just paying attention to this, I was doing other things. But once I figured it out, I actually do like it and pretty much use it on a daily basis. So Evernote is something that I highly recommend using it if you're having difficulty organizing your digital information. When you are when you're running your business, you probably would need a lot of types of templates. So you would need things like invoice templates. You may need a business card template. You may need a cash flow template. You may need a business plan template. You may need a business plan, a balance sheet template, and I can go on and on and on. I actually, for some of these financial templates in particular, I highly recommend score.org/resources. They have a lot of great templates available out there. For things like business cards and letterheads, things like that, certainly take a look at Microsoft Office. They have a lot of good templates, and there are some financial templates here as well, as in Score as well, but there are other templates there as well. Xerox Office and Google templates also have similar types of things, so take a look at these ones, see which ones you like, and it will save you time trying to design your own template. You can simply go there and download a template that's already available. Backup and storage, I cannot stress enough how important it is that you must back up your computer on a regular basis. And by regular basis, I mean at least once a week, if not every day. You should be backing up your computer at least once a week, if not every day. I know I just repeated myself, but it is extremely important that you do that. And the way I recommend that you do that is really two ways. First of all, buy an external hard drive. They are not that expensive these days. For $100 or so, you can buy a good capacity, I think 100 gig hard drive capacity. For a couple of hundred, you can buy a 1 terabyte gig capacity. You want to make sure that you have an external drive and that you are backing up all of your information to that external drive. In addition to that, or I will also recommend backing up offsite as well, and there are several services that are available for free. Dropbox, Box.net, and Google recently announced their own OneDrive.google.com. If you I highly recommend that you back it up. Pick one service, doesn't matter. They do have limitations in terms of their capacity. I believe with Dropbox it's 50 gigs, which is not which is a fairly large amount, unless you have a lot of images and things like that. But for a normal small business, 50 gigs is not bad. And of course you can use all three of these services if you want, but that could be a management problem, that you have to manage three different things and trying to figure out where you put what you put where. But I highly stress the importance of backing up your files on your computer. Now, once you're starting your business, obviously you're doing it to make money, and I hope you're making money. I hope you're all making money, and you have to manage your finances some way or the other. FreshBook is a great service in terms of invoicing your clients. So once you have set it up, it becomes very easy to invoice your client. You go to a meeting with a client. As soon as you walk out of the door, take out your smartphone or your laptop, and you can send an invoice right away. One of the great features I like about FreshBook is when your client opens that email, that invoice, it will automatically inform you that the invoice has been opened or the email has been opened. So if the client is giving you an excuse that they haven't received it, you know they are telling you some tale because you have got a confirmation that they've opened it. Wave Accounting is a full-featured accounting system, except it's online. It's very much like another accounting system for small businesses out there, but it's online, and more importantly, it is completely free. So take a look at Wave Accounting. We do have a tutorial on Wave Accounting on our website. If you go to our website, you can find an Wave Accounting tutorial on that. And Mint is very similar to Wave Accounting accounting, except it's not free, but it is fairly good featured, so I put it in there anyway, although it's not a free tool, but it's something that you may want to take a look at. Right, that's about it for today's webinar. Please make sure that you are aware of our upcoming webinars that we are going to be doing. As I said, we do a weekly webinar on small business topics on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So if you go to smallbusinesscenter.com, notice that there is no last E in the center. It will tell you what our upcoming webinars are. It will also show you our archived webinars as well. If you go to our Facebook website, facebook.com Small Business Center, notice again there is no E in the N here. There is a resource section where you can download a variety of different things, and if you so feel like it, connect with us on Twitter as well. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.